We're going to look at the satisfying task of trimming the back of our work on the Fringe Christmas Ornaments Cushion. So working on the back of the work, we're cutting the edge of the embroidery thread on the back around the very outer edge of this little circle. Once we've cut that, we just, with our finger, just remove all the back fluff, which will be the underloop of that embroidery thread. And if you get any long strands of bobbin fill, like this, just trim it back. Don't pull it, just trim it. And then on the right side, with the tip of, we're using a pink thing, we just lift the trim threads through the work and fluff it up. So that's the first trim. Working on a bigger piece, we're working on the exterior row of satin stitch, cutting to the edge that does not have the triple stitch on it. So slide your blade in so as it's onto the very, very edge. Don't dig in and cut the fabric. We're just cutting the underside edge of the embroidery thread only, not the bobbin fill. If you find with your machine that you're not getting enough of this colour on the back, then reduce your top tension slightly so as that you've got less bobbin and more thread on the back. Once that's trimmed, we just use the tip of the pink thing to lift those threads. With the spiral, we're doing the same thing, cutting along the edge that does not have the triple stitch holding the satin stitch together. So what happens, we put a satin stitch in and then we need to fix one of the edges so as that the loops will not pull out. If you were to pull out the bobbin thread by itself and not trim the embroidery thread, the front will have a loopy effect rather than being a cut piled trim effect. Depends on what you prefer. So we're working all the way into the center here, and then you work on the front and you lift all your pieces up. It's very effective, beautiful for dimension, and quite a novelty, fun look. Right, work from the center. Now you may find you come across the odd strand of thread which is not going to release. Just ignore it and let it sit on the work. Don't pull it, just ignore it. It's very easy to think that you've cut it all when in fact you haven't. Watching this fringing come to life is exceptionally satisfying. Moving on to our next panel, we have pairs of satin stitch that creates a stripe on this bauble design, which will give you a frill both edge once it's turned over, top and bottom. Different directions of satin stitch will leave you with different amounts of embroidery thread or bobbin fill showing. It's not all 100% even. Variegated threads are very effective for fringing. Now you've seen how simple it is, hopefully you'll actually have a go at doing it, because it's actually a very simple, effective way of creating dimension and texture.